about game. No, the fuck it's not. Game is after you acquire the shorty. Game is the retention. It contributes to the retention of how long you could keep the shorty for. The more games you have to play, the less time you have with the shorty in the long term. The less games you have to play, the better you guys will be compatible. I'm not into the games. Fuck that.
Yo, what's good with y'all, man? You know who it is. It's your boy True Prodigy 27 back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about hecspeaks. I'm going to also be talking about the game. Well, I'm going to be talking about game. And I'm going to be talking about Cold Approach. And I'm going to be talking about Blackpill, right? I'm going to try not to elaborate too much on Blackpill, but I'm going to be talking about mostly just game and Cold Approach. Because these two concepts, I don't think hecspeaks, I don't think he understands what game is, or I don't think he understands the benefits of Cold Approach. Maybe he do, maybe he don't, but from what I could ascertain, I could tell he don't have a clear-cut understanding of neither game or Cold Approach. But I'm here to break it down to him. I'm here to put him up on game, right? So yeah, and another thing, this isn't like a diss, you know, this isn't a roast or whatever. This isn't any of that. I'm just here strictly to put you up on game on what game is and put you up on game about Cold Approach as well. And like I said, I'll be elaborating on Blackpill a little bit too, you know. So let's talk about game. And I've done a video about this, and I'll link the video in the description box as well. I'm gonna link that video in the description box if anybody want to see it, like thoroughly breaking down game point by point. But Heck, I need you to understand, bro. You in the video, this is what you said. I seen a video recent. I don't know if it was a recent video or a video you did a while ago, but in that video, you said that your game will not work unless you okay, my fault on that. My phone went out. But anyway, like I was saying, so you said that your game will not work unless she find you physically attractive first. And you got to understand what game is, bro. Game is you becoming physically attractive. Game is a strategy to get what you want. Game is a strategy to get from point A to point B. Game is a strategy to get your desired outcome, right? This is what game is. So I apologize, my phone went out for a quick sec, but we back on track. So anyway, heck, you pretty much said that if a woman don't find you physically attractive first, then your game won't work or whatever. And I assume you say you think game is just mouthpiece. And let me tell you, bro, you aren't necessarily wrong. You're not all the way right, but you're not all the way wrong. Like, physical attractiveness is important, because if you are physically attractive, then that's good bait for you. It's just like if you pull up to a club and you pulling up in a Lambo, everybody looking at the Lambo, you have the people attention. If you pull up and you know you're physically attractive, maybe you might be tall, maybe you might be attractive in the face, maybe you have 25 pounds of muscle or some shit. It's just something about you, or maybe you have colored eyes or something. It's just something about you that's drawing the woman's attention. It's bait. You know, that's all it is. And the game is you knowing how to garner that bait, is you knowing how to attract women through the bait, you know. And that isn't necessarily just in the physical. Like if you have a fucking deformity, or if you super short or some shit like that, or if it's just something unattractive about you that you know most women won't necessarily find that attractive, then until you become more attractive, you have to use things outside of you in order for you to get the women that you want, right? You know, I should say in order for you just to get the bait, I should say. Let me correct myself. And this is what I'm saying. Let's just say you a dude and you love animals. You love cute fucking Pomeranian dogs, or like schnauzers, right? Cute little small dogs, and you walk around with them dogs. You doing it on the beach or just walking down the street or whatever, you are bound to get a woman's attention with that, right? And like I said, that's the bait. you know. And like I said, that bait isn't just off of your physical aesthetic. That bait is from this fucking animal. Like that's really all you need is the bait. Once you got the bait, then that's when you like spit your game. And I'm gonna talk about game two, right? But that's when you actually like use the mouthpiece, I should say, because you have the attention, and maybe you can use the animal to draw out some emotion from the woman so she could feel something in the conversation, bro. Like this is what I'm saying. But it's like all it is, bro, is that you like game like let me tell you what game is. Game is really just you employing a strategy to get from point A to point B, or you employing a strategy to get what you want out of life, right? That is the objective definition of what game is, right? So, what did I just say in that example? I said that since I'm not physically attractive enough, you know, then I'm using an animal instead just so I could get the bait, you know. And then so I can use my mouthpiece. And I don't think I said this earlier, but I'm gonna say it now. What you said, you are correct. You're not necessarily all the way right, but you're not all the way wrong in saying that like the physical attraction has to be there. But that's not always the case. There is times to where you don't necessarily have to be the most physically attractive dude, but you still could get the woman you want because you have game, because you have a legit strategy to get the woman's attention, you know. And that's what it is, bro. I hate that I gotta like break it down like this because most niggas charge for this shit, but I'm not charging nobody for this type of information because I just want dudes to win, you know. Even I'm not even saying I'm like the best at elaborating the game or whatever, right? Like I'm not saying I'm net, but I do know what I'm talking about, like honestly, because like the game has worked for me. Like I literally used to have a speech impediment, and I am a tall, physically attractive dude. I'm like tall, light-skinned dude, right? But I fumbled hella chicks because I used to stutter like a motherfucker. My mouthpiece was trash, you know. So I'm telling you, the game worked for me in that regard. That's why I talk about the game a lot. That's why I talk about Cold Approach, because Cold Approach has helped me, you know, overcome my fear of women and helped me become more articulate, you know. So, you know, that was a little sidebar. But anyway, this is what game is, bro. You know. And like the key is you being the exception to the rule. I know I'm ugly as hell. I know I'm not really that physically attractive, but I'm still gonna find a way to get the women that I want. And let me show you a couple of videos right quick, just to show you guys that just because you are not really that physically on point, you still can get the women, or you still can get attractive women, I should say.
Say what you want. At least he know them babies is. Shit, ain't no mistaking that shit.
What the hell? What the hell? What the helly? What the hell? What the hell? What the helly? What the helly? What the helly ante? What the helly? What the helly belly? What the
Now you just seen these guys were ugly as hell. You know what? I'm not gonna say they was ugly as hell. I'll just say they were unattractive. And I'm not one to judge dudes, really. I think face raters are weirdos. Face raters that rate is if you rate a woman's face is fine, you know, because I know you want to fuck women, so it might be genuine interest there in you rating a woman's face. You not trying to fuck dudes with her. Why the fuck is you rating a dude's face? You know what? We not gonna get into that. You know, let's just stay on topic. You know, but yeah, man. Like you just seen these guys weren't really that attractive, but they still had attractive women. And you might not think those women were attractive. It's whatever. Like obviously those women had some type of sex appeal to them, in my opinion. But they still had those women, and the reason why is because they had a legit strategy on how they got them. You know, and that is unique to that person. Maybe that person, you know what, bro? I'ma just approach every attractive woman that I see until I find one that's willing to talk to me or whatever. You know, like I remember a story that Andrew Tate told me. It was either Andrew Tate or Tristan Tate said that he literally would talk to every woman in the store until he got one chick. And the chick that he got was a decent looking chick or whatever. It was this ugly black dude that got a decent looking woman because he literally just played the numbers game. Like that is what he did. He would just cold approach every woman. He just played the numbers game, bro. So that's a legit strategy. The thing is, it takes a lot of work to do that. You got to have work ethic. But if you a lazy dude, or if you a dude that don't have no confidence, then that strategy isn't going to work for you. So maybe you might want to employ a different strategy. Maybe you might use online game. But you're unattractive. You have trash pictures, and you don't know how to set your profile up, bro. You like or your communicate, or you might not have bad text game or whatever. That shit don't work. So what do you do then? You might say, you know what, I'm gonna go to a coach. The coach is a horrible coach. He a trash coach. He don't know what the fuck he talking about. So guess what he do? He say, that coach don't know what the fuck he talking about because I've been consistently following his advice for like 6 months straight. And on top of that, I bought some of his shit and I still don't get no results. So let me put him on the back burner and let me go to another coach. He don't work. Okay, so these coaches aren't working. So I'm gonna just do it on my own and just see if I get lucky, or maybe you might go to an uncle or whatever, or like your dad, or like it's just you just consistently finding ways for you to get the women that you want, bro. That's really all it is. Or maybe you might go to a friend, like using social circle game. You might go to a friend that know a chick and maybe he can hook you up, bro. Like that's the situation. It's just like I said earlier with the fucking puppy dog, bro. Like you're able to get attention from women because of the fucking animal that you bring, bro. The women might approach you, think the animal is cute, and the conversation starts just like that, bro. That's when you use your mouthpiece or whatever. Or maybe you a dude, you might like poetry. You may approach a woman and say, hey, look, you fine as hell. Oh, what's your name? My name, Janet. Janet, look, my name is such and such. I do poetry. I see you attractive and I want you to join my show, so you can hear me spit this game or whatever. I don't know. And I actually like poetry. You might not even be that physically attractive, but the fact that you do poetry and she like poetry and she like the way you put words together to make it sound all sweet and eloquent and all this shit, she might be interested in that, bro. Is what I'm saying. But it's all about you finding what'll work, you practicing it, or you putting it into play, going on an experience to see if it works. And if it works, you stick with it. If it don't work, you trash it, bro. That's the situation. I gave so many examples of game, bro. It's like you can pick one of them and see if it worked for you, but the game is like never ending, bro. It's always different things you can think of in order for you to get the woman that you want. You just got to be willing to invest and learn the game, bro. So that's the situation. Another thing I want to talk about, a lot of dudes, I'm going to see, okay, let me tell you guys a story. I'm going to make this real short because I know a lot of Blackpill guys, and I said I was going to talk about Blackpill, but I know a lot of Blackpill guys is like egotistical and they want that genuine, raw, burning desire and shit, right? Let me tell you how I lost my virginity. I literally lost my virginity. I paid a prostitute, bro. This is horrible to say, but I'm real. I don't care, bro. Niggas can call me whatever. I don't give a fuck. I literally lost my virginity by paying a prostitute. But guess what? I took my ego out of it. I didn't give a fuck about getting burning desire. I'm down to 20 and I'm still a virgin, bro. I'm like, you know what? I don't care what I gotta do. I'ma just pay this woman $20, $40 in order for me to lose my fucking virginity. And my strategy was just to pay this chick, bro. I wanted sex. I wanted to lose my virginity, particularly, right? And I paid to get it fucking taken care of. What I'm trying to say now, take your ego out of it and just focus on the result. Take your ego out of the situation and just focus on getting the result, bro. Focus on on just being satisfied, bro. Just focus strictly on getting what you want out of the situation. I understand looks are important, but sometimes you might not be that genetically gifted, bro. You know, you might not you might not win the genetic lottery, is what I'm saying. But you still can get the women you want. Maybe you might pay. I don't condone tricking. I don't necessarily, advocate for tricking. That's not what I do, but if you a dude and you feel like you got a trick, do it. Hey, I'm not advocating for you to trick, real talk. Just hell no, but whatever. So you might want a trick, or you might use your money. Like maybe you might have a fucking Lambo. You might use your Lambo as bait to get the women you want, bro. It's all about you just having a strategy just to get from point A to point B. That's literally what game is, bro, in a nutshell. So, yeah, man, just this video is just to educate you, to tell you what game is holistically, right? So you can have a 360-degree understanding of what game is, right? So I'm gonna talk about Cold Approach, and I'm gonna end it with this. I'm gonna try not to be too long-winded. Cold Approach strictly should be to help dudes get over their fear of rejection, help build their social skills, help build their confidence, and so they can be comfortable just being around women. That is the 4 things about Cold Approach that is like a benefit. If you Cold Approach, I guarantee you're gonna become more confident. You're going to be comfortable talking to women. And by the way, I have 2 live streams where I'm cold approaching groups of women, literally cold approaching groups of women. And the reason why I'm comfortable doing it is because I cold approach women, bro, literally groups, and I'm able to just talk to them and just, vibe with them and have a good time and all that shit because I consistently cold approach. So this is what it is. I know you did a live stream talking about, Cold Approach isn't worth it and things of that nature. I'm here to tell you, bro, Cold Approach is 100% worth doing. You may not necessarily want to do it to just get women. You might want to do it just so you can get better with your social skills, bro. Real talk. Like that was the main reason why I started doing it. The main reason for me was so I can get better with my social skills. It wasn't like women was secondary. The primary thing was I'm a dude, I stutter. I'm a dude, I'm not really that articulate. I'm a dude, I can't really hold a conversation that well. So somebody told me such and such, you need to just start cold approaching. That's the easiest way for you to get over your fear of talking to women. That's the easiest way for you to become more articulate and for you to become more consistent in the conversation. And that is what I did, and it worked out. So yeah, man, like cold approach is definitely a benefit. That's something, it might not necessarily be for you. You might be more into like other forms of dating or trying to find a mate. But cold approach is an avenue that I would tell the guys to at least learn how to do, But I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Like I said, this isn't me trying to call you out or whatever. This is me just really trying to educate you on like cold approach and game or whatever, So with that being said, peace. I'll holler at y'all. I'm out.